All right, there we go. Welcome back, everyone. Tomorrow is definitely a big day for all of us. Jerome Powell is set to speak at the annual Jackson Hole Economic Symposium, and the markets are trying to hold their breath. In fact, you could say the stock markets are holding their breath, but Bitcoin continues to fall like a rock right now. It's actually sitting around like 112,000 bucks. That's not fun, right? So, for those of you guys that don't know, Jackson Hole is typically where all of the elites and the big central bankers go, and they basically just have a big old party and talk about what's next for the economy, right? All of the Wall Street power players, all of those big guys, they're going to be over there, and we're going to hear from Jerome Powell tomorrow to figure out, hey, what exactly is happening next, right? The biggest thing and the why everybody's kind of watching this right now is historically, this is where the Fed chairs like Jerome Powell drop the biggest hints about what's next for the overall economy. We all know the economy is slowing down, but we don't have all the data that the Fed is paying attention to, right? And although this year's theme is like labor markets and transition, that's not really the focus that anybody is going to be looking at. Everybody's going to be looking at rate cuts. Are we going to get one in September? What are the odds? Is Jerome Powell too hawkish or too dovish? Basically, are we going to have a cut in September? And if he is more dovish, what exactly will that mean for the markets, right? Because the markets have been betting for a rate cut for a while. And at this point, guys, the odds are shrinking more and more and more, but I would still say there's a healthy expectation that we're going to cut mid-September during the FOMC meeting, right? And I think that's just because of the bad jobs report and the good CPI. The thing that kind of messed everything up overall was really just that PPI that came in, like I won't even say high, it was extremely hot. So people are a little bit more concerned about that. So again, what we're going to be doing today is talking a little bit more about Bitcoin technicals. I told you guys I didn't think Bitcoin had much room to go up yesterday. Bitcoin came right back down after that nice little pop, and we actually made a new little weekly low here, which is actually kind of unfortunate. Looking over some of the news as far as Jerome Powell and the Fed for tomorrow, because that really decides everything. Looking at the Fed, chances of a rate cut of the CME group, right? And then just looking at altcoins and chilling out for a little bit. One of the things that's, I would say overall concerning to me right now is just that tomorrow everybody has their expectations if Jerome Powell is going to be dovish or he's going to be hawkish. If he's dovish, Bitcoin will boost up like over 5,000 bucks tomorrow. It'll be absolutely insane. But if he is overly hawkish, it's most likely going to go down quite a bit, like maybe back down towards $107,000. Well, no, excuse me. Let me look at this very fast. Close to $109,000, $108,000. However, what makes this so much more bearish than bullish is if he's just neutral and doesn't really give us any new information at all, that is still a bearish sign. So we got two opportunities for bearish and one opportunity for bullish. You're going to see a lot more people betting on the more bearish thing, or more likely than not, just holding what they have and waiting for another opportunity to buy. It's not the type of environment we want to be in, but this is like so close to a rate cut. Everybody's just waiting and waiting and waiting, right? So we got to see that things go our way, right? So happy to see you, Villa. Excuse me, Alex, Mo, Lisa, Banana Republic. He'll be hawkish for sure. I'm really hoping you're wrong about that, but like, I think he'll be neutral and not say much else and try to keep things close by. But he is losing members of the board, so maybe that'll help Trump out by forcing him to say, hey, we're going to look at cuts. Because all I think he needs right now is just a 25 basis point cut. Preferably, I would like to see a 50 basis point cut, then hold off until next year. But I don't think he's going to look forward that much. He's too worried about inflation. And I can understand it. I just, happen to vehemently disagree. I think that's the way you properly say it, right? So as far as Bitcoin technicals are concerned, let me hide that very fast. There we go. Bitcoin came right back down yesterday, or today. We had already talked about this because there wasn't really any upward momentum on the shorter time frames. By short, I mean daily time frames. That really told me, oh, wow, we should be buying up some Bitcoin here. Even the 4-hour chart, it had a little bit of a bump, but that wasn't nearly enough because, again, the daily charts were not there. And we've had a few little positive bumps, and what happened there? Nothing of note, you would say, right? And so what this leads me to believe is that Jerome Powell really holds our fate in his hands. Excuse me, guys. I'm already burping after all this talking. We already know we're coming back down to support. We know that Bitcoin is on the verge of turning bearish as far as the MACD and the stochastic and RSI are already bearish at this point in time. If Jerome Powell just lifts us off the edge or teeters us over, so to speak, we are going to be heading down here probably towards the 20-week moving average, which this week and next week is probably going to be between $107,000 to $108,000. That's why I think Bitcoin has an opportunity to really have a bounce here. It's just that I'm concerned that Jerome Powell is going to be super hawkish, like Banana Republic was just talking about, and that could cause some issues for us where we start to break down below the 20. Bouncing off of 20 isn't a terrible thing, but really when we start to break down below it, it's one nasty move, and if we do have that one nasty move, Bitcoin would break down below the $100,000 level for the first time since what? June, which is just a couple months ago. Not terrible, but it's a psychological event, you could say, right? Now, besides all that, I'm still looking at dollar cost average in here and make some money as time goes on. I do think for a lot of people that were buying up at the all-time highs for Bitcoin, they're probably not too happy right now, as to be expected. But I do think there's opportunities to average down if you guys are still having some dry powder on the sidelines. Right now, I'm being patient. I'm just watching a little bit of dollar cost averaging here or there, but I think it's better just to hold off on many of the swing trades that we've been hoping for. Day trading is still going to be your best bet, especially if you guys are able to do maybe I could even call this a type of swing trade. The 24 to 36 hour type of trades where you open it now and you kind of hold it for about a day and a half or so. Those are okay, but if you're looking for these large weekly trends, they're kind of getting messed up right now because everybody's really worried about what's going to happen next with the Fed. Of course, CNBC is really focusing on what the Fed is going to be talking about here. Fed Chair Powell set to deliver a big Jackson Hole speech Friday. Here's what Wall Street expects. If you guys want to, there's a couple of videos on YouTube. I'd encourage you guys to watch them. They're from today and yesterday. And it's basically just the round table of CNBC talking about what the Fed is going to be talking about tomorrow. So if you guys wanted to kind of have a little bit more of a, oh, this is what they're saying, this is what they're saying, I think that's probably the best way to kind of interpret some of that data beyond just listening to me and other YouTubers out there, which, you know, is fine. Now, let me see. Right? It will feature a calm and collected veneer, even if masking the weight of that he and his colleagues have been under all year, right? He's been doing a good job of keeping the Fed's independence. Yeah, but I don't believe the Fed's credibility is better than when it was when he took over, right? And that's for various reasons, you know, transitory, but a bunch of other things as well. As far as the CME Fed Watch, I know you guys can't see the full screen right here, but we've gone from 17% odds yesterday to 25% odds today that we have no rate cut. And this is why you've been seeing Bitcoin come down, of course, because it is more, I don't want to say aware. It's just more susceptible to the, no, I won't even say the words, but what do you call it? It's more, not ludicrous. The word is just escaping my mind. Susceptible. There's a word I'm thinking of and you guys know it, but I don't. But basically, Bitcoin reacts a lot more to rates than the stock market does. They both do, but Bitcoin is much more, that word. But, you know, Bitcoin is a little bit more susceptible. Let me just say susceptible. All right, now there's still a 75% chance that we do have a rate cut in September, so that's still good. But again, 1 week ago, it was 7.9. 1 day ago, it was 17.6. Right now, it's 25. If this keeps on going, it'll be flipped by the time we have a market. The cut expectation of FOMC minutes in September, which is not a good sign here. So that's kind of the concern here. Speculative? Skeptical? No. It's mega early, which is telling. Yeah, that's right. I think the speech tomorrow is very early. It's early for West Coast time. Let me see. So this week, it's this Friday. It's at 10 o'clock, so that means it's 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern time. So, Mo, for you, New York City, you're fine. It's at 10 o'clock for you. Speculative? I don't know what the word. It's more susceptible. Don't worry about it because I'm not going to remember it. It's crazy how you can get straight words sometimes. But yeah, and right now you're just seeing Bitcoin come back down a little bit, test out support, and we're going to see if this thing can really hold because of the next few hours. This is going to be a make or break moment where we'll really see Bitcoin start to push down, especially in the next, 50 minutes, because that's when the new daily candle comes out as well. So we'll see. Prone wild? No. It's something so simple. We're all using the advanced words of what this word means, I think. I can't even think of the definition of the word. Like susceptible, like Bitcoin feels it more than other things. It is, therefore, it's something blank. I feel like we're going back to the SATs, right? But it's okay. My brain is just broken today. I've been outside a lot today. Oh, and I'm here. So, I already closed it. So today I edited a whole video for myself. I recorded everything today and I kind of just hammered it out. With my ADHD meds, I was able to do it, but God damn, my head hurts right now. Yeah, it's just like strained. That's why my brain is a little bit out of steam right now. Oh man. Overreaction in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think there's a reason for us to be crashing and burning, but it's a mentality thing. Everybody expects that if we don't have a rate cut in September, everybody's going to start selling off the market. Or not if we don't have. If people believe we're not going to have a rate cut in September, people are all going to sell off some of their positions. And that's just the way it's been, right? And that's why we've been seeing the more the odds go higher and higher and higher that we don't have a rate cut, you've seen Bitcoin fall down more and more and more, and you've seen the stock market slow down and eventually start to drop today, which it hasn't really been dropping all too much, right? If you go look at Bitcoin for the last few days, right, we've had the bearish signals already there since, Sunday, right? And we talked about it more as we're breaking down below the moving averages. But the Dow Jones coming down, right? We haven't really been going up. The NASDAQ been coming down, more like a Bitcoin, if you will. Same with the SPY, definitely coming along. And when we see those rotations where the moving averages are coming down and the oscillators are coming down and all that type of stuff, we have to start zooming out a little bit and saying, okay, what could possibly happen from a momentum perspective? Right now in the daily chart for, let's say, the SPY, everything's pointing towards more of a bearish move besides the change of character. But if we go to the weekly chart, it's still very, very bullish compared to Bitcoin, which is not necessarily as bullish here, right? So the stock market is a little bit better positioned right now than the cryptocurrency markets. What I like about this, though, despite the kind of Bitcoin having this little iffy moment with the oscillators and whatnot, Jerome Powell could fix all of this if he's just dovish tomorrow. But what are the odds that Jerome Powell is going to be dovish? I would say less than 50%. So that means in my brain, there's a higher than 50% chance the markets go down tomorrow. I'm praying that he comes out dovish. I just don't expect him to be because he's been so unwilling to cut rates, right? And part of it is, Trump coming after him. He's feeling it up against the wall. He feels like the inflation may come back, so he's really focusing on inflation. He's just not prioritizing the other part of the mandate, right? You got jobs versus inflation. Right now, right or wrong, he's prioritizing inflation and he's not prioritizing jobs. If he's going to do it that way, the markets will suffer a little bit here. But don't forget, we've gone up all this much over the past year, Bitcoin, stock market, whatever. We've all been going up because even though rates have been fairly high, right? The issue and the crux of all this is when we're watching Bitcoin and the SPY and the NASDAQ, sure, those are going up. That is fine. But what about the Russell 2000? What about our freaking altcoins? That's where we want rate cuts to come in and help us, and maybe, dare I say, save us as far as those altcoin bags that we're all holding, right? Let me get out of the oscillators for a second. Let's just go over to a monthly chart for Bitcoin, right? Since 2022, we've been having some high rates. Sure, some of them come down, but we've been going high, right? We've been doing just fine. Altcoins, it's been much more flat. And remember, we only started to go higher in July for Ethereum, and that's because everybody was pricing in freaking rate cuts. That helped out the altcoin markets. Same with Solana and a bunch of other stuff. We've been doing okay, but not necessarily great. Especially when you start going to some of those smaller market caps like Ethereum Classic and things. This, to me, kind of reeks, not even reeks, it just reminds me of the Russell 2000, right? Russell really started to go up the last few months as the rate hike situation is going up. But you can see during Liberation Day, right, during tariff type stuff, we were just at the same level we were back in November, right? But even now, we're the same level we were back in 2021, right? That's terrible. That means since the lows we saw over here, the market's only gone up around, 36% in the last few years. Now, if you go back over here to lows at what, June 2022, 36% or so. The NASDAQ, oh wow, the NASDAQ went even low, but let's just say you bought the same time, right? Let's say you didn't even get that extra dip. You're sitting at about 100%, right? All of the money that's going into the market is really just going into big tech. So what do we do next? We want to see the stock. We still want to see the NASDAQ go up and the SPY go up. And sure, we want to see it go up, but we want to see a lot of other stuff go up too. In our case, we want to see altcoins go up. But in the case of our stocks as well, we want to see the Russell 2000 go up. And again, we can go over here to FinViz. Let me put my big old head on this side right here. I think it's still on the left-hand, that side. Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, if I go over here to Screener, sure, we got all the big tech stocks and big market caps and stuff like that. But let's just say we go over here and we do the Russell 2000, right? And then I just go over to, I don't know. What are some names? Let me just go by large market caps. Well, let me do that. Opposite way. There we go. Right? Then you can start to see some of the big companies that are in here that still need to get some love. Or maybe not even that. Let me just go over here to number. There we go. And let me just go to charts. I wish it went longer term, right? You can see over the last couple months since July, especially, we had been ripping because everybody expects to see those freaking rate cuts here. Now, there was a lot of sideways action. You can see a lot of stuff that's been pumping. It's only going back to previous levels, right? But that's because they're not healthy right now. All these companies in the Russell, they usually have some form of debt. When we have higher interest rates, that debt becomes much more expensive for them, but they have to keep on doing it. I mean, this one right here is a freaking biotech company. You know how much debt biotech companies have to take on, and that's why they have to do so many freaking splits and things like that. It's horrible. Sorry to rant, but it's just horrible, horrible, horrible. So we want to see all of these companies doing very healthy as well. Now, sometimes we can do asset management. Sometimes it'll make us some money here. But you back up a little bit on this one, let's go to the monthly charts here, right? Beautiful moves. This thing has managed to have a breakout and then continue to go higher. So something is working out well for them. But again, it's only 1.69 billion. Nice clear breakout, couple breakouts. Actually, this is pretty nice. This is more of a fundamental. Some downgrades, sure. I like this, whatever it is. Seems to be doing fine and not too much selling off. I can see that. Oh, let me hop out of this. For whatever reason, that website takes a lot out of my my memory. I don't know why. I know why. There's so many little things going on over there. There we go. All right. But yeah, that's kind of the spiel I had for you guys today. I wish it was a lot better. Bitcoin are now testing support, and because of that, you're seeing a big pullback by a lot of altcoins here. On the high side, OKB is still going higher. I told you guys this yesterday. If you guys are looking at day trade, that thing is still booming right now. Along with this, I think you've also been seeing BNB go higher as well. I don't see BNB today, but I think BNB was also going higher. Maybe not. But if you guys are looking for something to short and you guys can hold on for a while and have like a trade, I think OKB could be a really good short down the road here, especially if you guys give it some time. Especially tomorrow, if Bitcoin comes down, I think OKB will kind of finish itself off. This is the weekly chart for that sucker. It's been very stable since 2023 of doing absolutely nothing. All of a sudden, they're loading up. I think it's kind of a buyback situation for them, but if you guys are taking advantage of it, I think it's pretty good, especially if you guys were able to buy this a while ago, back in 2019. Oh my God, like you'd buy it all the way over here at the lows. You're up around 36,000%. I didn't do that, but that's why I told you guys I'm buying into things like Weeks and whatnot. W2XT token for Weeks. I used to have BGB, which is the BitGet token, which was really good as well. But I sold most of mine off over here. It went so high. I sold some of mine at $7. Well, all mine pretty much at $7. A little bit over here, a little bit over here, but most of it at $7. And it ran up all the way to freaking $8, $8.50. So I was kind of mad at myself for that. But then you look at it now, and it's like, okay, well, it's at $4. I sold it at $7. Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. But it's basically, this is like a few months ahead of where OKB was. I'm hoping other tokens out there will do the same. Whenever we go over here to exchanges, right? There's a bunch of exchanges, but the ones that are available in America, they're usually a lot smaller, right? Binance, no. Bybit, no. Coinbase, yes. A lot of regulations, but Coinbase there. But Upbit, I can't get that here. I can't get OKX where I live. I can't get BitGet, Mexi, Gate, KuCoin, HTX. Crypto.com, yes. Bitfinex, no. BingX, no. Kraken, no. Oh, Kraken. Can I get Kraken in my state? Maybe I can get Kraken now. It used to be you weren't able to do it. So it's not available to Washington State or New York. Fun. Binance TR no, Bitmart no, Lbank no, Bitstamp no, Bithumb now, Xe.com not for me, Toko Crypto no, Binance US no. All right, then it's Weeks and KSEX. These are the ones I get access to. CoinW, I don't think I get access to that anymore. Tapbit, I can still maybe get access to that one. Bitfinex no. Blowfin yes. And I think there's BYDFi somewhere down here. I don't know if I passed. I think I probably passed it. But yeah. So yeah, it's different. But not all of those exchanges have their own tokens. So when I get the opportunity, I'm typically buying them up. And like I said, WXT token, since I bought it, it has been doing pretty well. Right? This is a weekly chart, excuse me. So overall, it's been doing fantastic. It is looking like it wants to do a little bit of a breakdown, so I may add a little bit more, maybe sell some. I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm just going to hold and risk it for the biscuit. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Early stages compared to a lot of other tokens. But this is something I need to hold for years. But, you know, these have been some of the best trades I've been able to make besides Tron in this kind of choppy market here. I really have to take a look and see if there's other tokens here that I can buy that are still fairly cheap. It's just that if I don't have access to the exchange, it's usually pretty hard for me to get the token in the first place. So the tokens I can get are not like the PINX or the CoinW tokens if they even have them. I have to go to Blowfin and see like blowfin.com. Well, I'm not do .com. I'm just go Blowfin. I don't know if it's a .com. Yeah, it is .com. Okay. Right. And then I go to Spot. And then I see Bitcoin. I don't see Blowfin token. So like Blowfin, there's no Blowfin token, right? So you can't get a token and use it to get cheaper fees, basically. I mean, that's why you buy the tokens, is for the cheaper fees. That's why I buy BNB and everything. A lot of people use it. Go over here to Weeks. And sorry, guys, my contacts are drawing out on me, so my vision is getting worse as I talk. You can do We Launch, so you can get access to early things like coin launches before they go boom and pick up. Rewards Hub, right? You can get special rewards and things like that. I think you get special leaderboard status as well. But like, let me go over here to. Oh god, my eyesight is failing me, which sucks. I don't have eye drops near me. I do not. I have my contact lens case, but that has liquid that I don't want to use. I don't even know if it'll actually do it. Affiliate, WXT zone. There we go. This is what it's called. It's just called. Okay, there you go. WXT is the native token launched by Weeks. WXT holders enjoy exclusive benefits such as free airdrops and up to 70% off on transaction fees, right? And it's been going up a little bit over time, right? Going up. You can say the holdings. I'm not logged in, so it's not going to show my holdings. But basically, you can buy it. You can see the APY on it. I haven't seen that you're able to stake it yet. I'll ask them right now. Let me go to Telegram very fast. Hit up my boy. Stake. Because I haven't seen that yet. I haven't really looked into it too much. But I figure if I'm going to be doing 140% over a year, that's actually a pretty good amount here. That's a pretty good amount. So I'll keep you guys updated for that here pretty soon. But these types of tokens, really cool little things. They've been making me money so far, but it's not like it's been life-changing money. It's been like solid investments. And my God, Bitcoin continues to get pushed down here. This is not pleasant. We got about a half an hour left, a little bit over half an hour to see if we're going to hold support. But yeah, we're barely bouncing off this sucker right now. There's too much discussion on doom and gloom. If I have money, I'd be buying. Oh yeah, I'm not saying I'm not buying. I'm just saying I expect this to go lower, so it'll be nice, cheap prices to buy. At least that's my anticipation, because I think Jerome Powell is going to be hawkish based off of the data that he has right now, right? What's the concentration into several big companies is insane. It's basically a big tech AI play, because they're going to be the big winners of tomorrow, right? I understand it. The only one that's not really thriving right now, I would say, is Tesla, and that's because of Elon Musk. I felt kind of bad for Elon Musk. He got spit out in the political realm. He tried to enter politics, and everybody was like, "No, man, we like Trump. You're awesome, but like Trump's our guy." And the Elon Bros didn't really stick with him, I think, as well as he thought. So Elon Musk got spit out of politics, and I mean, at least Elon Musk, as he went out the door, he re-sparked and reignited the Epstein stuff, which has been like a thorn in Trump's side. But Elon has kind of been like, "Hey, maybe I overreacted. Sorry, big bro," type of mentality. Let me search that up for you though. Let me go over here to Chat GPT. I got to figure out a way to frame the question though. What percent of the overall USA market is the Mag 7? I didn't type it in correctly. Excuse me, guys. Burping up a storm. Damn. All right. Oh, there you go. So share relative to U.S. GDP. At the peak, the combined market cap of the Magnificent Seven reached just over 17 trillion, while U.S. GDP was just under 30 trillion in 2024. That puts the total at roughly 57% of U.S. GDP, right? 57% of our GDP is from like 7 companies. Now, Mag 7's influence over the S&P has grown dramatically as of mid-2024. That's a year ago, and it's been a lot changed since then. They've accounted for nearly 16 trillion of the S&P 500's 46 trillion, a total market cap of around like 34.6%, right? Similarly, additional sources affirm they make up roughly 1/3 of the index's total valuation by end of 2024. So, crazy. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I don't even know. Yeah. But that's why, like, again, those things have been able to withstand the storm and go up with the higher interest rates. It's everything else that has not been able to keep up. That's why we really want to see some cuts so everything else can come along, right? The cuts are how Bitcoin dominance goes down. Think of it like that. Cuts, Bitcoin dominance comes down. If we pause, then rates usually, dominance usually pauses and starts to go back up, just because the nature of how everything kind of bleeds back into Bitcoin, unfortunately for us. And hey, GVC, good afternoon, good afternoon. Hey, Noir, happy to see you. Hope you're doing well. Robinhood is good, but you can't swap coins in a Tether USDC. That messes with your taxes. Yeah, especially for me, I haven't really used Robinhood all too much. What I've done, oh, you know what? Didn't I buy something random on Robinhood? I sold my NVIDIA that I was holding from like years, because I was like, okay, NVIDIA, I think NVIDIA's slowing down a little bit. Well, let me see if NVIDIA was slowing down. I think I sold it over here. They're not over here, so we'll see. But you know what? It is slowing down a teeny bit. Now, how do I log in? Hold on. Because if I try to log on my phone, it doesn't work. But on the computer, it says it works. Send text. Okay. Let me see what the code is. You're authorizing. Okay. Ooh. 100K of gold is waiting for me. Oh my God, for real? Oh no. All right. Do I have any cash on hand? Oh, I just have cash. I didn't actually buy anything. I thought oh, you know what? Maybe the trade never went through. So I do got 60 bucks in here. The last trade I had was the NVIDIA, and of course that worked out very well. I have a little bit of Bitcoin, and my total return for Bitcoin is 220%, which is pretty darn nice. Yeah. Average cost 35,000 bucks. People were probably saying, "Oh my God, 35,000 is still too expensive." You hold for a couple years, you're still happy. Although, buying at 35,000, ooh, that is kind of high. All right. I don't know what I want to buy with this. It's only a few bucks, but maybe what I'll do tomorrow during my free time is I'll buy some of those AI low market cap stocks and see if with lower interest rates we can get those things going again. Like you can even see my old list right here. I know it's hard to see here. This is my old watch list. This is stuff from back in 2020 to 2021, right? Dogecoin, that was something I used to, oh, it's not like you can just go back and forth. Okay. Dogecoin, Tesla, Hershey's, AWK, AMT. AMT was something that was pretty good. American Tower. Look at the last 5 years. Has that continued to grow? No, it's been stagnant. Wow. Yeah, I haven't held this in a minute. That is interesting. See, all these things I was so bullish about back in the day, they're not good anymore. Microsoft, that's still fine. Workhorse was a beast back in the day, but I don't know what happened to it. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Again, woo. Hedge funds are selling. Hedge funds close their positions. Earnings haven't been good. What happened to these guys? Oh, they announced a merger coming. What happened? Workhorse, again, back in 2021, this thing was going. Now, they've had a lot of splits since then, but you can imagine 5, 5,800, 6,000, all up to 10,000. Well, it ran up a lot. I don't know what happened to that one. Oh, my God. Ethereum, Apple, Bitcoin, AMC, GameStop, as you guys all know, those were some pretty crazy ones. FTNT was a favorite of mine, too. I don't know what happened to this one either. Actually, this one's been holding up very well, up 200% last few years. Yeah, 2018, 2019. This thing has been running up like crazy. Now, it's had a massive drop. It's gone from $108 down to $77. But overall, it's still been pretty good. Cybersecurity, yeah. Interesting. Okay, that's enough of that type of stuff. But yeah, can you remember all that type of stuff you were trading back in 2021? Completely different environment. Completely different environment. And we could probably play it like that very fast. There we are. Oh, shit. What did I do? Okay, there we go. What's my broker for CFD? What does that mean? I can't. Sorry, guys. My contacts are going out. I cannot read right now. And hey, Digital K, happy to see you. Sorry, I know what I do is I gotta like get the tier eye liquids underneath the contacts. There we go. Oh, that made it worse. Okay. Mike, we're gonna dump hard, aren't we? So far, the signals are yes, we are gonna dump a little bit, probably back down below $110,000. But long story short, I'm gonna be using it as a buying opportunity because I still think we have a higher way to go. I will be buying a little bit into some altcoins I've been looking for and doing some longer term trades. But yeah, I don't expect it to be a disaster. Because I don't expect Jerome Powell to come out and like really just say there's zero chance of a rate cut. The economy is perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't see him being in complete denial. I just think of him as overweighing inflation when he needs to be more focused on the jobs market right now, and that's enough to spook the market a little bit, which is why you're seeing the market come down a little bit. Again, he may be dovish, and we may be back on that rocket ship any day now. But until then, we're just gotta be a little bit more careful, right? A little bit more careful, especially because we just hit all-time highs and we had some people taking profits. Remember, like a month ago now, it's been a minute, I was saying, hey, everybody, we're hitting some levels of resistance. If you guys want to sell now, it's a good opportunity to scale out because we haven't been having these longer runs like we've been anticipating. All the runs this year have been very short for like at max a month, at max like 3-4 weeks, right? And that's where all this like this is such a boring market, right? Has really kind of bled into our mindset, especially like Ethereum. Again, look at the weekly chart for Ethereum. Now, there's a big level of resistance right here. Now, we broke above it, but is it terrible to say you might have wanted to scale out right here because the last few times we had got rejected from this level, right? And now we're holding on to that support barely and seeing if we can kind of hold on. But that same type of mentality. It's okay to take some profits, lock in some gains. You can always reinvest and buy it back when everything goes back lower. But we really haven't seen really crazy moves that have led to massive returns, right? Again, this one lasted 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks before we kind of fizzled out. Then another 2 weeks over here. This one lasted 3 weeks, 1 week, then 3 weeks over here, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, about a month right there. And Ethereum is a special case. That's the second largest market cap, right? 2 weeks over here, 2 weeks over there. You could say about a month over here, really. 2 weeks over there, 3 weeks over there, 2 weeks. It's not really long, big moves ever since we started to raise interest rates and everybody started to get freaked out. Now, again, it's not the end of the world. It's just that, hey, this is what we're used to. You go to something like a ICP, a lot different. 3 weeks and that's it. 2 weeks, that's it. 1 week there, 1 week there, 2 weeks there, maybe, if you want to call that a rally. You go to something else like Turbo, which I like, right? That's literally just like, what, one big week and two little small weeks on either side. This one was really like 3 weeks of rallying, maybe a month if you want to call it that. Again, 3-4 weeks. 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, about a month. It just hasn't been lasting that long, which, kills us on the inside. MOG, 1 week, cool off. I would even say this was like a month and a half, which is a nice rally. You can even extend that out a little bit, right? This one was about 3 weeks right there. Get out all that crap out of the way, right? 3 weeks over there, a little bit longer, right? We're just not having those moves. So whenever we start to climb, people start to get, I should, I need to keep on buying, hold. But in reality, it just hasn't been that way, unfortunately, for us. Which is, again, why we want rates to go up. Look at this. I mean, MOG is breaking down below the 20-week moving average. That's not a healthy sign. It's breaking down out of this trend right now as well. That's not a healthy sign. We need these rate cuts to stop altcoins from bleeding heavily back into Bitcoin, because unless you guys have a diversified portfolio like we talked about that has Bitcoin, that has Ethereum and XRP and those larger market caps, your high risk accounts are going to be negative. Like this one, our high risk account, we've been holding this for like a month basically. It's only up 2%. The one that we just had one token in it, Fartcoin, that one's down 22%. The least amount of diversification has the worst result, as you might imagine. And the safe portfolio is still up 18%, while everything else has been going down the last few weeks. We're still holding strong, which has been pretty good. Of course, we have some bad performers that are down 41%, but we also have some good performers as well. Like Crow is up 55%. And of course, because mostly everything is up besides bubble maps and the Trump, you could say, hey, oh yeah, even though Bitcoin may go down the next few days, maybe I want to scale off something, yada, 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 right? Ethereum, since we bought it, is 67% higher. Kronos is up 55%, and Bitcoin is up 7. SEI is up 61. BNB is up 30. XRP is up 31%. Solana is up 28, right? 23. So if we go to something like a SEI, and you kind of go over here to crypto, right? You see how we had this trend where, hey, now we're bouncing off support. Support really wasn't there. We drew it now, but we want to enter into this pattern. You can buy over here. I don't know when I bought it, what the price I bought it at is. We bought it June 18th. Pretty darn close to the bottom of this move. Pretty darn close, right? All right. But, and at one point, if we bought it on the 16th right here, at one point it was up over 117%, but we didn't sell. You could have sold because, again, there was heavy levels of resistance happening right here, especially if you go to the weekly charts. Oh, yeah, look at that 50-week moving average, 32 cents. Could have bought over here at 19 and sold over here for 32 and made an easy profit. Still, it can make an easy profit selling. We're still up like 60%. But now you got to put into perspective, okay, well, if this is going to take a while, we might come all the way back down here to 20 cents. This is right where I bought it before we bounce up and go to all-time highs, right? Now, this is October. We could before rate cuts, we could easily come back down and go right back up. You can see a trend line right there, which we could be breaking down below, bounce through. There's tons of simulations. There's tons of opportunities here, but you can understand the process of like, maybe I should sell a little bit here, take the profits. The reason I haven't is because I specifically told you guys I'm waiting for like an altcoin season type of moment before I sell this stuff, but I'll kind of guide you how I would trade it in different scenarios, depending on how you guys want to do it, right? Because smart way is just to take the profits. But I'm looking for something a little bit more profitable, which means I'm increasing my risk because, the market could collapse tomorrow, or not really, but you get what I'm saying. The market could have a bad week, a bad month that could really keep us locked into those positions for a minute. And hey, CT, happy to see my man. Hope you're doing well. I'm having a good week so far. A little bit tired. I've been playing around with Loki all day, and Loki's been rolling around in the dirt. a lot today, a lot. But I've been blasting my music. I woke up at 8 o'clock today, guys, and I was like, what am I doing up at 8 o'clock? It feels so early. I went downstairs to work on my desk and look at the market. I was so tired, I just went upstairs, got myself a cup of coffee, walked outside, and then just blasted the music so the whole cul-de-sac could hear it for a few seconds, and then I just chilled out and drank my hot cup of coffee. Oh, man. But like I said, I got a whole video done with Adobe. I was trying to render it before this, but it was freezing at like 2 minutes and 50-something seconds left. It was freezing for some reason, so I'm going to try to redo it here in a second. But I think if I were to pull this up for you guys... Adobe Premiere Pro. I think this one was my full top 5. No, recent. Okay, daily talking. Oh, I put it in the daily talking. Okay. Is this the right one? Yeah, you can see my same vest and everything. Right, so I got this all set up. It's all good to go. I just have to render it here and I should be fine. It's about 5 minutes long. So we'll see how that works out. Tomorrow, I also have the top 5 AI stocks video coming out, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm just going to see how the proper editing does. And if the editing isn't like making a huge difference, I think what I'm going to do is edit a few videos by myself and then just see if those perform well. And then I know I just got to get the editor to do 16-minute long videos instead of 5. But a 5-minute video costs me like $100 or something like that. A 16-minute video may cost me a few $100. So, or yeah, a few $100. So I'm a little bit more hesitant about paying him to do that. I might as well just learn it myself. And while I'm not fantastic, at least I can build a template for myself to make it really easy. So I have a template for top 5 videos. I have a template for these videos versus those videos, you know, things like that. I think the next video I'm going to be doing is like, what's the video that I just did? The video that I just showed you guys right here that's I'm editing. That's, top 5 habits that keep you poor, right? So all of that type of stuff works out, I think. So I'm doing good. Mike, honestly, I just want to go all in on H bar below 16. Oh, you want to go all on. You want to have some fun, but also have some crazy risk right there. Can't blame you. I mean, again, most of the stuff you buy right now, give it a couple months, it'll be like astronomically higher. It's just that, you know, day by day, this is fucking dramatic as shit. And hey, Road Dog Crypto, happy to see my man. Thanks for being a lurker. Lurkers help too. They bring in views, they bring in ad revenue, whatever. I appreciate you. And if you ever have a question and you feel like you don't want to look for a day or say hi or something like that, I'm always here to help you guys out. This is a pretty chill time, and now that I'm really focusing on my videos and quality of my videos, I'm hoping things like really get chugging for the channel as a whole. And then I'm going to use my teleprompter for the other videos I'm going to be doing here pretty soon. The other videos, they're not going to be as successful because the channel itself is smaller. But you guys remember I have that second channel over here, and I'm posting shorts that link to the channel to see if that helps. And I did a thing that the Fed's next move will wreck the economy a little bit, like, ooh, what's happening there? Only got 17 views, but we'll see if it pumps up a little bit later. It's 7 minutes long, and it's 6.7% impression click-through rate. That's fine. That's not great, but it's not bad. And then average view duration is 2 minutes and 24 seconds. I got to get up to like 4 or 5 minutes, so I'm practicing a lot. But I'm going to do one video there per day, and then twice a week I'm going to have highly edited videos for the main channel that you guys are watching right now. So wish me luck on this one. I'm hoping that by having this template, by editing, it's going to be okay. Right? Oh, my friend Kamikaze Cash just messaged. Oh, I got those polls set up as well. So if you guys saw them today, I told you guys yesterday were coming along. I asked you guys a few questions. What type of videos do you want me to make more of? The ones you'll watch all the way through. Breaking news and market updates, Fed moves, Bitcoin and stock crashes. Those are going to be very interesting. Evergreen wealth building, anti-system exposing how the Fed governments keep you broke, and then deep dive explainers, 10-minute breakdowns. So what I'll probably focus on is the anti-system exposés, how the Fed, is government keeping broke, and then probably the breaking news and market updates for Fed moves, Bitcoin, stock crashes, and things like that. That's a lot of what I talk about on the streams anyway. The next one is, what video length do you enjoy most from me? Most of you guys said anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes. Then after that, it goes to long form with 15 minutes plus, and then quick hits 5 to 6 minutes, which means I'll probably just do the sweet spot of 8 to 12 minutes, and I'll probably end up doing 12 to 15 minutes, honestly, down the road. But for now, you can see most of my videos are 5 to 6 minutes. Last poll question, of course, vote as you want to. Don't vote because one has more views and stuff like that. As last one is, topics, and I already talked about that one right there. So we'll see how it works out. Which one is Kamikaze? Kamikaze Cash is another influencer. He's a friend of mine. He has 192,000 subscribers. Really good guy. His is much more entertainment. It's not really like value stuff, but I think he's getting there. No, actually, I think he is making that move over to value. I think it's just in one of his Discord groups or something like that. But yeah, so he's been posting a lot of funny videos about like showing the losses and things like that, which is pretty cool. Also has really good editing that I don't have, which is why I'm trying to get better and better and better at it. But Kamikaze is a great guy. All right, there we go. All right. Sorry, joined late. Oh, no worries, Riz. Happy to see you. Powell is going to wreck the markets with his speech. Maybe I should just sell and buy back in. No way he will do something to help Trump. I don't think it's necessarily against Trump. I just think he doesn't want it to appear that Trump is bossing him around. But at this point, I think Trump is right. So it's just hard, right? So like, you know how Trump just like took over DC with the National Guard to make it safer? Because I mean, everybody and their grandma knows that DC is not a safe spot, right? On the news, they're freaking out. They're freaking out because it's the media's job to freak out. But if you go on TikTok and you just search up DC National Guard, you see a lot of black people be like, damn, I can leave my door open at the gas station. This is crazy. I've never been able to do this type of stuff, right? It's that type of stuff where it's just like, it's affecting real people, right? But just in a different way than we're used to. And the media is kind of like, and everybody else is kind of just living their lives. I think that Trump is correct about the rate cuts, but he's being so crazy as far as how to get them cut that he just needs to cool off a little bit and say, hey, put like real pressure, like that silent pressure of getting Congress on your side, making those background deals, say, hey, we're gonna need to push them. Because Trump is going to have a really solid Fed here pretty soon because Jerome Powell's retiring. They just had a lady retire because of personal issues, which was personal issues. Who knows what that was about? And there's also one that might have been doing fraud, which may get kicked out. That fraud case is much more iffy, so I'll kind of leave that aside because I'm not sure if it's like how accurate the reporting is in that one. But one empty seat and then Jerome Powell's seat, right? Those are two things that can really help him out a lot because that means that out of the 7 board governors, he's going to have Jerome Powell, the 2 that already like him, and then the one right there, that's 4 out of 7, which that's enough to continue to get rate cut after rate cut after rate cut. But that doesn't really happen until when? May, right? May. And if that really starts to happen in May, and on top of that, we need Jerome Powell to quit on top of him finishing off his term as the Fed governor or the head of the Fed. But you put all this together, that means that Trump can really have a lot of rate cuts next year, but next year is the midterms. If he wants the economy to feel everything now, he needs rate cuts a lot sooner than just May or June or something like that. Huge difference, right? So Trump is thinking about this from a political standpoint so he can keep going his agenda, because as you guys know, if Democrats were to take over the House or the Senate, one or the other, most likely I guess with the House in this circumstance, all you're going to see is what happened last time. Impeachments, investigations, all that type of stuff that didn't really help out anybody. It was just kind of drama for drama's sake. The media loved it. But like, how many of you guys honestly were caring about the investigations that went into Donald Trump back in his first term, or the investigations that went into Obama during his term, or Bush? I just never cared about any of that stuff because it didn't actually affect me. It just kind of felt like they were wasting their time. Sure, they can say they're holding people accountable, but I didn't care too much. To kind of bring this back around to Jerome Powell, he's playing with fire because he is a political animal at heart, right? Remember, people seem to forget that bankers are really deeply into politics. And since he is a former banker and a really good one at that, he knows that high interest rates help out banks and make them more money because they get to charge you more fees. Those fees aren't going to the government, they're going to the banks, right? But they're making you spend less money because that debt is that much more expensive. Hold on one second here, guys. There we go. go. My grandma wants to come over, so I want to make sure she can actually get inside the house. Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammack says she would not see a case for a September rate cut. Exactly. She's one of the more hawkish ones right now. What's right here? Justin streaming now? Who's Justin? Wait. Oh, there you go. I see it. Sorry. My eyes are so bad right now. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's bad. I didn't care about any of the presidents. Some people are mostly invested in the president, whether or not it's hated. I'm mostly invested into my governors. I mean, that's basically it. My governors are who are my governor, is who I'm invested in. Maybe because DC is so far away from Washington State, I just don't care. The people that really care about DC are usually those people in California. Because California has a big place to play. They want to have that power because a lot of money flows in California. There's a lot of money in Washington, but we're totally different vibes out here. Like, maps, California. Nothing to really do with politics, but it's just a different type of vibe out here. Let me go over here. Like, you go over here, you look at LA, look at all those fucking roads. All right. Oops. Let me go to the Sunset Beach. All right. Nice, peaceful, nice houses. Everybody's usually pretty happy unless you're poor, in which case, like every place, poor people aren't happy. I was poor once and I wasn't happy, so that's the way I'm thinking about it. But it's just a different type of environment where all this money over here, all this LA money, there's a reason why Nancy Pelosi was the head of the what's it called? Head of the House, right? A lot of money, a lot of fundraising power. She can kind of influence things. I don't know where Hakeem. Can't pronounce his name properly. Okay, I don't care about immigration rights. Yeah, New York. I mean, come on now, guys. This is a fault of Democrats. They're going to figure this out eventually. Stop having leaders from this New York or California or like the coast. Like have a leader from Colorado. Have a leader from Nebraska or Wyoming or Montana. Somewhere that's not a coastal elite spot, and they can talk so much better. Heck, even that Shapiro guy from Pennsylvania, that could be probably somebody they can go into, but I think he's Jewish, which might not meld with the current party. But they can figure something out. I think they can figure something out. Washington State, we're the third most important as far as the Senate, I think it is, with Senator Patty Murray, who's been there for a minute. But Senator Patty Murray's done some good stuff for the state. But yeah, we're a little corrupt as a country. Little corruption. And that crypto, excuse me, dumped tomorrow as usual. We are still bearish, unfortunately, right now. That is correct. Cali's the fourth largest economy. Oh yeah, I understand why they're doing it. But they can't have a person that's perceived to be a coastal elite right now. They need to have somebody in the middle, right? Trump does not act like any New Yorker I know as far as the way he's crazy and stuff like that, right? JD Vance, middle of the country type of guy. Ohio, right? Who is Kamala Harris tried to do the same thing, but she chose somebody that couldn't really even shoot a gun very well. He wasn't like that masculine type of guy. I think JD Vance was in the Marines. The guy grew up around like crackheads and stuff. Like there's a different type of person you become when you have that rough life, right? But yeah, just crazy. And I think he's married to an Indian woman too, which is crazy. As far as like, have we an Indian woman really in there? Yeah, I don't know, but what do you call it? It's just crazy. I don't want to get too deep into politics, but yeah, I just don't care so much about what Trump does on a day-to-day basis outside of the markets, right? ICE stuff, don't care. All that, just don't care. How can I make money? Because once he makes some money, oh, Trump did that. Okay, I'm gonna go drive and smoke some cigars and drink some $100 scotch. You know what I mean? Like, you just go about your life and you're happy with it. It's when you rely on the government that you really start to feel scared about stuff, and you shouldn't really be relying on the government. But we all get knocked down, so you want to have some type of support system. It's just that You don't want to be on the support system for too long. And the government right now is designed to kind of keep you there, which sucks, but I'm not sure how to fix it. I'm no expert. Philippines Bitcoin, what is that? JD Vance is a good guy. I think so too, yeah. Kamala Harris was half Indian. Oh, well, there you go too. I didn't know what she was. She really ticked me off by having different accents for different types of things, and it was really freaking me out. Because again, I'm half Hispanic, I'm half black. I'm also like 20% Scottish and Irish, which is fucking weird, I know, but I'm a melting pot. When I hear people like fake their accents, I'm like, just your accent isn't going to change the way I vote. Like, it's not going to make me like you or hate you any more than I already have. And typically, I don't really like anybody running for president because they have a really crazy ego, and I'm just like, please just make me money. Remember, Trump already paid for himself in large part when after he won the election, we just saw the market go absolutely insane. That was great. I sold off a lot of stuff during that time. But we've gone even higher, and I'm happy about that. But like, just really different. And hey, Andy, what's up with the thumbnail picture of me 20 years ago? What's the thumbnail picture of me today? Hold on. I think it's probably... Oh, you mean where I'm just have a light in front of me? It's light-skinned? I think I'm actually pretty old in this photo. Let me see. Well, first of all, it's an AI photo, so it's not real. Let me actually just say that first of all. All the stuff from earlier... Oh, I deleted them all, but here's an example of it. Yeah, it just smooths out my skin a little bit here. That's basically what it's doing. Still got the curve. Maybe it's a little bit grayed out or something like that. But yeah, it's same thing as me, except for it makes me lighter skinned because I say have like a studio quality light in there. But yeah, I think I'm actually getting darker over the last few weeks because I've been out in the sun enjoying myself a little bit more. But yeah. But okay, buddy, I'm going to end the stream right here. My grandma's coming in and I got to go get ready for her. I'll be live tomorrow in the afternoon, not 4 o'clock because normally tomorrow's my day off, but because of everything going